too profound to convey in a few simple words. Oh, but why must the listener grow weary whenever I begin to divulge them?
I haven't streamed Genshin in a while. I've just been streaming a lot of Withering Waves.
Busted. Scatter! Skyward!
Okay, we're doing the DAINSLEIF quest, Painted Mood, the Arkham quest, bedtime story. Before that, I want to get Chlorine and build her up before we start the quest. Where do we have to go for the quest? Let's go there first. Maybe. Oh, we can do focus mode if we want. Okay, let's get Chlorine first then. Okay, let's wish him Chlorine winner. Let's go. By the way, history, why wishing history? Yes. I just got out of, so that was it. Let's see if we lose the 50-50 or win it. Okay. Then it. Sure. Yeah. Sacrificial. Plenty of those. Toma. I don't think I have C6 Toma. Do I? Oh, I do. I have C6. 4-star. Not bad. Oh my god. That's early? That's really fucking early. That's just 30th wish right now. Holy shit. Did I win though? I won!
Greetings.
I won!
I am Chlorand,
Holy shit!
Indian duelist of the court of Fontaine. If you wish to hire my
Just
services,
30
please state the nature
wishes.
of your dispute. You may leave out any extraneous details. Those are no concern of mine.
Oh my god. Oh, holy shit, I have 300 wishes. And I just got her within 30 wish. I did not expect that. I expected to lose the 50-50 because I won the 50-50 in Arlecchino's banner. Holy shit. Alright. Let's go. I have 230 there and I can exchange 63 here. Only. Could I wish on a weapon banner then? I could get one weapon if I wanted. I don't know if I should. I don't really need a weapon, to be honest. Right. I don't think I got any. I didn't get any constellation of any of the characters. There's no point getting the constellation one. If you got the second constellation, then that's something. But that's too much. I don't want to waste all of my wishes on her. Better to save up for Northland. I don't know what kind of characters gonna come out of Northland. So let's just save it. Oh my god, I still can't believe I just got her within 30 wishes. Holy shit. Let's switch the weapon. Let's pick up this. What the heck's that? Let's first check this one out. How this works. I don't like an PM on her, but for now let's go with this. How does this look? 124. 31. Oh yeah, I got to level her up first. I forgot about that.
Interesting. Even my sword feels more at home in my hand now, like an extension of my own body.
That was cool.
I feel.
I don't know. Like materials? What? How did that happen? I mean,
As a warrior yourself, I don't believe you require my help. But should you ever wish to borrow my strength, I will fight for you with everything I have, as always.
so the crit rate barely reaches 50. That's not good though. It barely reaches 50. I don't like that. I need more crit rate. I had a crit rate weapon that was before, but I didn't have any. I have crit damage. I could switch the characters. Wait. For now, I could go with this. How does this look? same. Pretty much the same, to be honest. Yeah. Well, let's just go back to this one. What happens if I level this one up? Well, it's 20% of the other crit damage. I don't like that. I have barely 170. If I lose more than that, I can't afford it. I need a good sand. I think that's the problem. I need a good attack sand. Easy set. I have to keep farming for that, I guess. You don't have to, but the substance and good. Really bad, in fact. Substance. Let's stay with this. Let's stay with this for now until I get a better substance or sand. Not bad by any means, it's just not as good. Also a lot of defense. 19% difference is not. I didn't have a good one there. 6% difference there. %, difference here is just a lot of difference alone. If I get a better crit damage with substance crit rate and a better sand with attack instead, it will be really good set. I have to keep farming for whimsical for now. Let's level up for talent. This is the main one. 17 crowns. 18 crowns actually. Let's add a talent book. I need 6 4-star talent book. Just this. Okay, let's put it. Six 4-star. Okay. Yeah, let's do it. I will still have 17 crowns because we're getting on in this update. And I also don't know if I'm gonna wish on season. So yeah. I also thought I'll get at least couple of copies of Sethos, but I didn't get a single one. Did not get a single one of Sethos in just 30 wishes floor in this game. How about you? Let's change it into the team code.
You need to hire a duelist?
Let's change this team from teaser.
Time to broaden the horizons again.
My blade will lead us through the shadows.
Well,
since you asked so nicely.
Yeah, this seems like a good game. But okay. Now let's go this and change. Let's change floor and to
Need to hire a duelist?
this thing for now. Okay, I had my fun. Yeah, her exchange her wings. Which one would look good? This. No. Which one doesn't look bad? No. No. How about the Tinder one? No. This looks better. Either snow or companionship. This one looks good. Okay, let's do the quest. Enough dawdling around.
Perfect. It's you two. I have a commission here that has your names written all over it. In fact, I'd even go so far as to say you're the only ones for the job.
The only ones for the job? Huh. If our help is really that important, it's probably some Archon class commission, right?
The Adventurers Guild doesn't employ that kind of classification system. In fact, this commission is also probably not nearly as intimidating as what you're expecting. All it asks us to do is to find a missing person.
Huh? Then why did you say we were the only ones for the job?
I came across this commission while reviewing our backlog not too long ago. It seems simple, but our records indicate that over a dozen successive efforts to complete it have all ended in failure, despite attempts by several accomplished and renowned adventurers. With the reputation of the Adventurers Guild and the performance of the Sumeru branch at stake, it's in our best interest to assign this commission to the adventurer with the highest completion rate over the past few years.
Well, that's us for sure.
All I'm asking is for you to give it your best shot. If it proves to be beyond your capabilities as well, I'll talk to the commissioner about canceling the commission.
Okay, so who are we looking for? And what is it about this commission that's made it so hard to complete?
This commission was jointly issued by the residents of Vimara Village. They say one of their own villagers has gone missing, but the problem is, they don't know the missing person's name. They can only provide information about his general appearance.
Is it
they're all from
DAINSLEIF?
the same village, but they don't even know his name? If so many adventurers have failed to complete this commission, maybe this missing...
Unlikely. Several villagers came by to issue the commission, and judging by their appearance and tone of voice, they seemed incredibly sincere. It certainly didn't seem like a joke to them. Besides, putting up a commission requires a processing fee. There aren't many upsides to a prank that costs Mora to carry out. In any case, it would probably be best to go to Vimara Village and ask around first. The Adventurers Guild does have some information on hand, but I would say anything you can learn directly from the villagers would be far more reliable. The best way to avoid misdirection is to go to the source.
Alright then, let's go! Paimon's starting to get really curious about this whole thing.
Vimara Village. There it is.
We made it to village. Why don't
Yeah.
we talk to some of the villagers to learn a little bit more about the missing god?
Hello there. You looking to buy something? I do business in
Oh
this
my
area.
god, what happened to your voice,
No,
though?
we're adventurers. Catherine sent us to look into a commission here in Vermara village.
Ah, so you're here about that then. Ah, you're not the first, that's for sure. We've certainly made a lot of trouble for you all. To be honest, we aren't holding out much hope. Many adventurers have made their way out here, confident they'd be able to help us, only to leave soon after with nothing to show for their efforts. We've pretty much had it up to here in questions, and the area around the village has practically been overturned in search of clues. But no one has been able to make any headway.
So, this person we're looking for, what's his name? Where did he live? Does he have any relatives?
I don't know. I really have no clue. I couldn't tell you.
Okay.
What can you tell,
Way
huh?
of answering questions.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to sound short with you. I was actually just giving you my answer to your questions. I know it may seem like we don't have anything to offer by way of information, but I promise you, we all have a very strong impression of him. When you live in the same village as someone, you develop a lot of memories together, you know? We just don't know the specifics. Maybe we did at one point, but that information is long gone by now.
How long ago was it? That you
At least
forgot
that's what
everything
everyone
about
in the
him?
village seems to think. We've all exchanged what we know, and that was the only logical conclusion.
Alright, specifics aside then, what kind of person was he?
Young guy, in his early 20s probably. Incredibly kind sort of person, always willing to lend a helping hand. I'd chat with him when I didn't have any customers. I even saw him stick out his neck for others on more than one occasion.
I'm pretty sure he's talking about DAINSLEIF.
Now that you've started talking about him, you don't seem nearly as down in the dumps as you did before. Seems like he left a pretty good impression on you.
But of course, everyone in the village is pretty fond of him. We wouldn't have issued that commission otherwise. There aren't many young people like him nowadays. So genuine and pure. To think that he just up and disappeared one day. I just hope nothing bad happened.
Could he have just moved away without telling anyone?
No, he's not the type to leave without saying goodbye. And anyway, moving away without being seen by a single person in the village? There's no way he would have been able to manage that.
Alright, thanks for the information. We're gonna go ask around some more.
Bahar,
This commission is
That's
really
his
as
name.
challenging as Catherine made it out to be. We're gonna need to carry out a very detailed...
Is that guests I hear?
Hi, Grandpa Amadea. We're here to help you look for the guy that's gone missing.
Ah, so that's what brings you to these parts. Coming all this way for our sake. That's so very kind of you. With your help, I trust that young man's case is in good hands.
Could you tell us a bit about him?
Of course, I'm happy to help any way I can. With my failing eyesight, I'm afraid I can't offer much about his appearance. But I do remember hearing the sound of his voice. Not recently, of course. That loss has left me feeling quite empty. I don't think his parents are still living in the village. But somehow he never seemed lonely. In fact, he was usually the one offering companionship to others. He would often take time to visit the elderly or play with the orphans in the village. And whenever someone had something on their mind, he was there to listen with open ears. He always knew just what to say. As the village chief, I owe him many thanks. Helping villagers navigate difficult moments in their lives should have been one of my responsibilities. But he was often the one rising to the occasion.
Wow. He seems like such a nice and gentle person. No wonder his disappearance affected you all so much. But, you wouldn't happen to know any details about his name, address, or family situation, right?
I'm ashamed to admit it, but I just can't remember. No matter how you look at it, I should know those things. But for some reason, no matter how hard I try to remember, the information just doesn't come. Perhaps my age really has caught up with me this time.
It's okay. There's no need to force yourself to try and remember. We'll figure something out. Well, Traveler, what do you think? Paimon thinks so too. Like, the name thing. It's so weird that no one remembers his name. And nobody has been able to tell us anything about his family or where he lived? It's like, wait, so you're saying it's not that he's been erased, necessarily, but more like he never existed to begin with? Okay, Paimon's gonna need some time to process that one. Someone who only exists in people's memories?
You two are the adventurers who just arrived, right? You're here for the Vamara Village Commission?
Yes.
Sure are. We were just...
I'm so glad to hear that. Thank goodness you haven't given up. I've been so worried the Adventurers Guild might cancel our commission. My name is Atosa, by the way. I grew up here in Vamara Village. Anyway, I just wanted to say, please keep searching for a missing villager. I'm begging you. You have to find him.
Yeah, no need to worry. We'll give it our best shot. So, were you close to the missing villager? Are there any leads you can give us?
I'm not sure this counts as a lead, but follow me. There's a place I'd like to show you.
Sure, let's go. I got nothing else to do other than follow strangers to the back of the van.
Is this the place? Under this tree?
Yep. I know it doesn't look like much, but this place is very meaningful to me. It's so full of memories. We used to always sit together under this tree and talk. Sometimes we would look up at the clouds in the sky, or stop to feel the wind against our skin. We could sit there for hours at a time, never realizing how long it had been. I was actually adopted by the people of Vamara Village. The forest rangers found me in the woods as a child. I was surrounded by such good people, and growing up in the village was so lively. Still, there were times when I couldn't help but feel incredibly alone.
Alone?
How should I put it? When something's bothering you, or when you have good news to share, you always want to talk about it with somebody. But for the longest time, I didn't know who I could talk to, or if I should say anything at all. Everyone has their own problems to deal with. Even if I might want to confide in others, I don't want to become a burden. Really? You know exactly how I feel? Wow, that sounds really nice. You're quite lucky. When it comes to our missing villager, well, I guess you could say that to me. He felt like both a family member I could rely on and a friend who could really understand me. No matter what came my way, I knew I could always talk to him. He was so thoughtful and pure, and patient too. Whenever I talked to him, he would always seem so interested.
Okay, never mind. He's not
The things I was
DAINSLEIF.
describing were just as important to him as they were to me. Ever since he disappeared, there's been so much I wanted to tell him. No, none of those things matters now. I just really want to see him again.
Wow, you two must have been really close. Did he ever tell you anything about himself?
He mostly just talked about interesting things he saw around the village. He'd share a lot of his own wild ideas as well. Oh, right! I did ask him about his parents once. But all he said was, they're not here anymore. I didn't know whether that meant they had left the village or passed away, and I didn't want to pry.
Still not much to go off of.
I mean, the word
Look at me.
pure and innocence doesn't
Figuring
really
off and still
go
nothing
well
to
with
show for it.
DAINSLEIF. Not
Sorry
having
I
his
wasn't
parents does resembles DAINSLEIF.
The last time I talked this much in one go was when we were still together. Come to think of it, every time we talked, it always seemed to be around dusk, just like right now. Time always passed by really slowly. Even when it felt like we'd been talking for hours, the sun would still be at the same position in the sky.
Well, time always seems to pass slower when you're relaxed, right? What's wrong, Traveler?
Meanwhile, these two just...
Hilly trails over there. Doesn't it seem like...
That was a really funny transition.
The Abyss Order. Could they be the ones behind all of this? Uh-oh, we've been spotted! Quick, get ready to fight!
Stabilize!
Into the shadows.
Gather!
Gather! Skyward! Loaded.
Stabilize!
Into the shadows.
Thank you so much. I wasn't expecting monsters to show up. If you hadn't been here, I'm not sure what I would have done.
It was no trouble.
Now that I think about it, the hilly trolls around Vimara village have been a lot more active lately. They seem agitated and would often attack anything in sight. Chief Amadea doesn't allow the children to play in the area around the village anymore.
Maybe the Abyss Order really is involved. Well, we should head back and check out the situation in Vimara village just in case. If the Abyss Order is plotting something that could spell trouble for the villagers. Wait a second. The person... It's DAINSLEIF!
Yeah, so the missing person is not DAINSLEIF, yeah. I thought so.
Ah, it's you two.
Oh, a friend of yours? Well, I'll leave you all to it then. I should head back to the village and check up on Chief Amadea and the others anyway. Well, see you later.
Yep, see you later, Atosa! Why do you always have to pop up out of nowhere like that? Is it your life's mission to jump scare us or something?
It's hardly personal, or intentional for that matter. As long as you and I are both in pursuit of the Abyss Order, we're bound to cross paths.
Ah, so you're here to investigate the Abyss Order then. That would explain the monsters you were fighting just now.
Naturally. Hold on. Are you not here for the same purpose? No matter. It may have taken you a while to catch on, but I'm sure you've also realized by now that there's something strange about this place. The Abyss Order is most certainly planning something in this area. Or worse, their plan could already be in motion.
So you think the Abyss Order is behind the hilly trail activity in the area?
As things stand, I highly doubt that is their primary motive. I would imagine the increased hilly trail activity is merely a byproduct of whatever it is they're really trying to accomplish.
Still, the hilly trail activity is causing a lot of problems for the people here. We should stick around for a while and protect the village, don't you think?
The best way to protect them is by figuring out what the Abyss Order is truly planning. That is how we prevent further tragedy. And you shall have them. I never intended to hide anything from you. Don't worry. There should be ample time to talk. Ah. So that was the commission that brought you here to Vimara Village. Someone who seems to only exist in people's memories. That is indeed quite intriguing. I would agree that it's unlikely you have a simple missing persons case on your hands. However, any possible connection to the Abyss Order is still unclear. It appears all we have by way of clues is increased hilly trail activity, and that is certainly not much to go off of.
Right! That mysterious voice he heard in his sister's memory. The one who called himself a sinner. Who is he?
Traveler, let me ask you this. Do you believe your sibling to have betrayed you? I sense hesitation in your words. After all, you still haven't figured out the whole truth of what happened. There's still hope for the two of you to reconcile. Irreparable damage has not yet been done. The sinner you wish to know about, his situation is different. He and his fellow sinners have long betrayed me, and long betrayed their nation. His name is Vedrfolnir.
Vedrfolnir.
I'm loath to admit it, but he is also my kin, my older brother.
Your brother?
There were 5 of them, the 5 sinners of Kanria. The wise Roptatir, the visionary Vedrfolnir, Gold Rhindaughter, the foul Sertalogi, and Rehir of Solnari, Rerir. No matter how eroded my memory may become, I will never forget their names. One day, I shall have my vengeance.
Wait, some of those names sound really familiar. Rhindaughter is the one who created Albedo. Sertalogi is Skirk's master. And the one we just learned about, Dane's brother, Vedrfolnir. If he was the voice of the sinner, then the one who inspired Clotar to create the Abyss Order was him.
They were once people of great esteem in Kanria. Those who carried the hopes of the nation. They were the best of their peers, outstanding in their respective fields. 6 of us, together. We should have been the ones to prevent the disaster. The ones to stop the Vinster King from continuing to rock the foundation of the world. Yet, deep within, the 5 of them craved something more. They could not resist the call of the Abyss, and divided among themselves a power that could destroy the world. So they became sinners, but also transcendent beings, each in possession of world-shattering power. And when the cataclysm occurred, not one of them stood up in defense of their nation. Not one came forward to prevent the tragedy, and for that, they shall never have my forgiveness. Indeed, if they are not stopped, the day is sure to come when they will also betray the entire world. Of course, as I said, I never intended to hide anything from you.
So, Dane, what have you been looking into all this time?
I've continued to investigate the questions surrounding the Loom of Fate. It's been quite some time since the initial operation was launched. By retrieving the eye of the first field tiller, we were able to stop part of their plan from coming to fruition.
Oh, Paimon remembers! Weren't they going to use it to corrupt Osile and make a god or something?
This is a recap. Okay.
However, it's obvious that was just some sort of technical experiment. The eye was integral to their plan, yet somehow, despite failing to obtain it, they've skipped the experimental phase and found some other way to keep moving forward. There are many signs pointing to that effect.
Then, what should we do? It's not
Leslie, thank you, Leslie,
Our
for the follow. Welcome to the stream.
is to determine the
Hope you have a good time.
purpose of fate.
Thank you for the follow.
From there, we'll be able to deduce the Abyss Order's true objective. Based on the intel I've gathered so far, I suspect the Loom of Fate is related to the ley lines in some way.
The ley lines?
Traveler, you were able to observe your siblings' memories last time, yes? I believe that was due to the fact that the ley lines in that area were unstable. My recent investigation has shown that Abyss Order activity in a particular area is usually followed by a series of issues with the ley lines.
I'm also doing fine, Leslie. Hope you're having a great day.
Wait, then our commission here in Vimara Village. The person who seems to exist only in people's memories. Could it be connected?
It's certainly possible.
I'm from India, Leslie.
I'll join your
Where are you from?
investigation tomorrow. This missing persons case could very well turn out to be the key to unraveling these mysteries.
Well, if we're teaming up with Dane again, we're gonna need all the energy we can get. Let's try investigating somewhere a little further away tomorrow. So tired. Paimon used way too much brain juice yesterday.
You don't have any brain juice, Paimon. Shut up.
What to do today?
This is such a great place for a vacation. Let me just take a few days.
Skyward! Sky!
Dane? Hello, Dane? Why are you just zoning out over here? Did something happen?
There was no toilet paper in the toilet.
Missing person from your commission. Could you describe them to me?
Oh, young guy? Early 20s? Seriously, Dane, what's going on?
There appear to be certain memories in my mind that weren't there before. Memories of him.
Maybe we just talked too much about him yesterday and you had a weird dream or something?
No, it wasn't a dream. There Memories that suddenly appeared in my mind after I woke up. And I'm certain I've never met this person before.
Okay. Weird.
I remember handing him the eye of the first field tiller.
Huh?
What? Okay, so this missing person definitely has something to do with the Abyss Order then.
Indeed. And it appears he possesses the ability to implant memories into the minds of others.
Wait then. All the memories the villagers have of him, could they be fake too? Maybe they never knew him at all. But why would he do something like that?
Whatever the Abyss Order is planning, an important truth has been revealed to us this morning.
What sort of truth?
That their goal is still to obtain the eye of the first field tiller. They haven't stopped searching for it. I am the only person who knows its location. Perhaps implanting that particular memory was an attempt to interfere with my mind in some way. Your concerns are not entirely unfounded. I don't believe the Abyss Order is capable of altering reality like that just yet. However, considering their single-minded pursuit of the Eye, I would say an equal level of caution is in order on our part. Come with me. We must check whether the Eye is still in our possession.
I don't think that's a good idea.
Oh, so you're going to take us to where you hid it?
What if that's their plan, to know where you hid it? Yeah.
Of course.
Let's take it this one.
Peace prevails throughout the land, and all things are made new, as buds in the spring. This is an auspicious era for humanity.
Let's put it down there.
So you hid it way out here? Not an easy place to discover, that's for sure. Well, let's go check to see if it's safe.
Traveler, wait. We've no time to lose. Let's head inside.
Hey, wait up!
Yeah, let's do it.
Skyward! Scatter!
Wait a second.
If you are presently unoccupied, perhaps we could stop a while at Montessori for some repose and conversation. Yeah! Skyward! Scatter! Yeah! Scatter! Laser bear! Yeah! Scatter! Skyward!
Oh, we're not done yet. Okay.
Stabilize.
Loaded.
It appears the mechanisms here have changed over time. You can access the upper floor through the side door. Perhaps you should try reactivating the mechanism over there.
So this is still locked. Alright.
Skyward! Scatter! Yeah! Skyward! Scatter! Yeah!
Solidify.
Into the shadows.
Make sure all the runes are pointing in the direction indicated by the light. That should unlock the mechanism. Ah, the door's open. Let's go. Our destination is just up ahead.
Looks like we can't go any further.
Be on your guard. I sense the presence of the abyss.
It's the Abyss Order! They're here!
I'm so sorry, sir. Um, well, my mic was picking up a lot of background noise. I don't know if it's back or not. But let me just check it. Is it still on? It should be better. It does sound better. There's a little bit of echo. Okay, it's better. This will have to do. Yes. Let's continue. Oh, right. Yeah, let's go. Let's continue where we left off. Okay.
Gather!
Loaded.
Hello.
Stabilize!
Ready.
solidified!
That was the end of that.
Just as I suspected. The false memories were a trap. The Abyss Order just wanted to follow us here. Now that they're in the vicinity, we should have a chance to see...
Dane? What's wrong?
He drank too
Can
much
you feel
yesterday.
that? There's been a disturbance in the ley lines. It must be the work of the Abyss.
Wow, you must be really sensitive to that sort of thing. Paimon doesn't feel it.
You too. Do as I say. Use that mechanism over there and leave this place. The Abyss Order is putting something in motion. If you return to Vimara Village, I suspect you might finally have the opportunity to locate the missing villager. Just think of it as a way to divide and conquer.
Is my sister here? I feel like it's my sister. I fucking knew it. I found it.
I knew going along with your trap would be the only way to meet with you face to face.
You risked your safety and that of the Eye? That's quite the gamble, DAINSLEIF. But I believe that I am the one walking into a trap laid by the Twilight Sword.
So you came here all on your own? What about those followers of yours?
When the Twilight Sword is prepared for battle, any army I could send would only be marching to their doom. Better that I face you alone. I know you must have a lot to say, but if it's a conversation you want, you'll have to defeat me first.
Am I gonna play as a DAINSLEIF? No way. No way.
The Abyss
Okay.
Order's on the
Fuck
move.
off,
The
yeah.
ley lines are all out of whack.
There's no way they're gonna
We
let
better
you
hurry
play
back
as
to Vimara
DAINSLEIF.
Village and see what's going on. Hey, look at those hilly trails over there. Weren't they acting super agitated just a little while ago?
They're high.
In the New World, they bade farewell to the shrouded sun. At last, they no longer needed to dwell on their suffering, or try to. Such was the price they paid, and thus
That justifies the
their
play
souls
because they
became
soon
the
become
clan.
friends. No.
Did you hear that? It sounded so gentle. Oh, this is weird.
Let me just take the weeds. Be on my way.
Looks like the same thing is happening over.
You see, we've
Let's
reclaimed an endless amount of time. Release your tears. You no longer need them.
Is there any edibles here? I guess not. Oh, there's some edibles there.
It looks like they're sleeping.
In the end, sleep
It's
well,
not the
Father.
product of the
When you awake,
anyway, that
that
is the
which
picture
differentiates-
It almost sounds like a poem. Well, now that the hilly... Let's put this situation to the side for now. Dane said this might be our chance to find the missing villager, so we should head...
No, I just want the edibles. No, I don't want to put the edibles. I just want the edibles. Thank you. Oh, I can't access the map right now. Cripple me, why don't you?
Grandpa Medea, is everyone alright? The Abyss Order.
The Abyss Order? Thank you for your concern, but...
Well, that's good. Oh, also, you didn't happen to come across any clues.
Someone's gone missing, you say?
Huh?
What the old man gone senile, bro.
You know,
Leave him.
the young
Ask,
guy from
ask
our
someone
village.
else.
The one you've been. That's kind of the whole reason we're here, actually.
I do apologize, you two. I hope I'm not worrying you too much. At least right now, I can't seem
Dementia.
to recall whatever it
Is
is
the
you're
dementia
referring
again
to.
flaring
Perhaps
up
you should
again?
try asking someone else.
But how is that? Something's definitely not right. We just talked to Grandpa Amadea about the missing villager. What do you think, Traveler? Could everyone's memories of the missing villager have been erased again? You're right. We should narrow down the...
Someone's gone missing? Who?
Just as expected.
Mass,
That guy you said
mass
a bunch of
dementia.
nice things about earlier? He's around 20 years old, and you said...
Oh, I know who.
Really? You were...
There aren't many young people who've earned that kind of praise from me. Then there's only one person who fits the bill. No doubt about it. Yeah, I just saw him leave the village. There was...
Strange. Bayram seems to remember him. And apparently, do you think maybe it's not that there's something wrong with people's memories, but that we've somehow returned to a time before he went missing?
Just like what happened with Greater Lord Rukadevada, no one remembers him. Because there's been a change in people's memories. No, Baram still remembers him. He just forgot
Ram
about
could
the
have
fact
remembered
that this
someone
person
else.
went
It's
missing.
not like he remembered what person he exactly was.
If this person only exists in people's memories, maybe we're in someone's memory right now.
Right. Paimon totally forgot about the ley line disturbances. We're in just like how you entered your sibling's memory last time. That would also explain why we seem to be at a time before he went missing. It's a memory after all. Right. If he's someone who only exists in people's memories, then we're finally on the same term. But didn't Bayron just say that he saw him? Who knows how long this ley line disturbance is gonna last? We might not have that much time, and we don't even know. Good idea. That we pretty much figured out that the missing villager has the ability to. Right. That. Could we try to figure out more about him using what we know of his ability? Like, does it maybe leave a trace that would somehow give him away?
Things from false memories will not change. Time does not pass
If
within
time
false
was allowed
memory.
to pass within the false memories, there's a higher chance they might conflict with someone's original recollection. That would make it much harder to avoid suspicion.
No wonder! All this time and the sky hasn't changed a bit! That's the tell of the fake memory. The implanted memories are basically taking place outside of the regular. If the memories included the regular passage of time, it would be like there could be overlap or something. People might start to wonder why they remember doing. That's why he makes
I'm
sure
on
the
screen,
memories
this is
take
coming
place
in
at a
again.
specific moment in.
The color of the sky
Yeah.
coincides.
Oh, right!
Hmm, come to think of it, every time always passed by really slowly. Even when it felt like we'd been talking.
Yep, that has to be it! Yeah, that's
Yeah, it's not ability. I can't TP right now.
So, you see, Granny Jahiet was a mercenary when she was younger. She just talks like that out of habit. She's not trying to scare the children on purpose. Oh, there I go again. Always talking about my own things. Do you maybe have anything you want to share? It's okay if you don't. You could also just talk about what you think of me?
Oh,
Aww.
I think you're an incredibly strong and thoughtful young woman. You'll meet many amazing people and live a very happy life. You won't miss someone like me.
Huh? Are those your friends over there?
Let's see about that.
Oh, right! This version of Atosa hasn't met us yet!
Friends? I guess you could say that. It must have taken them a lot of effort to find me. So, I should see what they need. I'm sorry, Atosa. We'll have to continue this conversation another time.
Another time, huh? Yeah, okay. I'll head back to the village then. Talk to you some other time.
It's nice to see you, Traveler. I believe this is the first time we've met.
This is the first time we've met. It's Glowtown. I don't think it's Glowtown. I think it's Caribou.
Born into abject sorrow, he shall now become the loom of fate.
What does this
The
mean then?
founder of the Abyss Order, the man who broke the curse of immortality. Dane's brother, one of the 5 sinners of Conria, the one who stole the power of the Abyss.
We'll go with Caribou for now.
You're Kari Bear Alberic.
Oh, you know me? That's quite the surprise. I don't believe I've met you before. Oh, I see. It was the memory, wasn't it? Your sibling's memory. You saw the me from back then. This is Atosa's memory. I came here to say goodbye to her. But I suppose I'll just leave her a message instead. Come, let's find somewhere else to talk.
language. I wish I could read it, but sure, I'll try. I'm sure I could just I can read it. Wait, that that looks like an N. This looks like very much like Sanskrit language.
I suppose you could call it the realm of my consciousness. I'm someone who no longer exists in the real world, after all, as you well know. It's nothing. I still have enough strength to play the part of a good host. I've always hoped that I'd get the chance to talk to you like this, and now, the time has finally arrived. Extreme sorrow and pain, hope and regret coursing through your veins, and a degree of abyssal power that defies comprehension. Father told me that once I possessed all those elements, I would become the loom of fate, but despite his intentions for me, I never truly became the loom of fate. I was merely used as a means for its construction. In truth, I died the moment I set everything in motion. The person you see before you now is nothing but a remnant of consciousness left over within the loom of fate. As for your question, the loom of fate is a device capable of weaving ley lines. In its primitive form, it can only be used to create and implant memories. But as more of it is completed, its power becomes stronger and stronger, until finally, it has the power to weave real ley lines of its own. Once fully completed, the moment it gains the power to weave ley lines, it loses the lower-level ability to influence memories. But it also becomes a tool that can change the entire world. Yes, I have the ability to control the loom in its semi-completed form. I suppose you can think of it as a form of compensation.
What does it mean to
After
weave
all,
new
its
daylight?
existence cost me my life. Ah, that. I was wrong to implant those memories. I'm sorry I caused so much trouble. Not only for everyone in the village, but for you as well. I just wanted them to feel like I once existed in this world. As if I had a chance at life. I know what you must be thinking. Why would I do something so meaningless?
Get it?
But I just couldn't accept it. I had to know what it would be like if I had my own life. What kind of person I would be. What other people would think of me. Chief Amadia, Baram, Granny Jahiyat, Atosa. What would it be like if I could live alongside them? No cataclysm, no curse. Just a quiet life in a peaceful village. I was curious, so I selfishly tried to have my own life. Even if that meant piecing together the version of myself that could have been. One memory at a time. I know it sounds stupid. After all, my life ended a long time ago. Any chance at living was stripped away from me when I was 8 years old. My consciousness left to mature in an illusory world of nothingness. Even the form you see before you was nothing but an invention based on my father's appearance. An imagined version of what I would look like if I had the chance to grow up. I know. But there's nothing I can do to make them find me. If I could exist in the real world, I would return without a second thought and surprise them with the suddenness of it all. But, well, that's not possible for me. I know. Captain DAINSLEIF. Twilight Sword, you mean? No need to meet up with him. Things should already be settled on his end. Exactly. As someone who could only exist in people's memories, the fact that I'm able to talk to you in my consciousness like this can only mean one thing. The Loom of Fate has already been completed. No need to worry about Captain DAINSLEIF. He's absolutely fine. The only reason he lost the eye was because I happened to guess exactly what he was planning. Captain DAINSLEIF has had the eye inside his body this whole time, hasn't he? His plan was to lure the Abyss Order to a false location, capitalizing on their pursuit of the eye in order to have the chance to confront the princess. He would then hand the eye to you and tell you to take it away from that location. That way, Captain DAINSLEIF could accomplish his own goal and ensure the safety of the eye all at once. A very thorough plan. That's right, because in his mind, he had given it to you already. Before you two entered that false location.
Oh yeah, when he had a headache.
We've no time to lose. Let's head inside.
That was when I implanted the memory of him handing you the eye. Given the tense situation at that time, Captain DAINSLEIF failed to notice anything out of the ordinary, and took that memory to be real. I'm sorry, Traveler, but I needed the Loom of Fate to be completed. And to do that, we had to retrieve the eye. I promise I'm not trying to conceal anything from you, but I truly have no idea what the princess is planning. Tevat's ley line system is deeply entrenched in the planet. Creating new ley lines can neither replace nor extend the ones that already exist. In the face of everything they could be planning, I fear I'm too insignificant to even get a glimpse of the bigger picture.
What kind of dumb
In any
fuck
case,
are you?
I had my own use for the Loom of Fate, and my goal, at least, has been achieved. You remember my father, don't you? Clotar Alberic. I believe you saw him in your sibling's memory, after he used the power of the Abyss to restore consciousness to my hilichurl form. I suffered from an indescribable level of mental anguish. To comfort me, my father told me a story, that this was a fairy tale world where I had to take on the form of a little monster. That story managed to dispel my fears, even if just for a moment. My goal was simple: to use the Loom of Fate in its near-completed form, when its ability to create memories was at its strongest, to implant a specific memory into the minds of the hilichurls. In that memory, I would tell them a story, just like my father did for me. It was a story of fairy tales and love. But more than anything, it was the story of us. I can't change the world. Not when I lost the very right to exist within it. Implanting those memories, that was the most worthwhile thing I could offer. All that's left of my existence is a wisp of residual consciousness tied to the Loom of Fate. In truth, that trace of my consciousness should have dissipated long ago. My goal was the one thing that allowed me to hold on all this time. But now, the bedtime story is finished. And it's finally time to rest.
Looks like I was too late to see Kari Bear one last time. Kari Bear's consciousness is gone, and this space will soon disappear along with it. Neither of us belongs here. That's why we're not tangible. Were that not the case, I'd love to hug you too. Well, how about a conversation? The chance to just stop and talk like this is certainly not easy to come by. Wouldn't you agree? That battle earlier was tough. The one against Dane, I mean. I didn't expect that after everything, he would still hesitate to raise his sword against me. Were it not for that, perhaps I'd still be no match for the Twilight Sword. Even after 500 years. The Loom of Fate, huh? I still haven't found a way to utilize it to its full potential. But there's still time before the heavenly principles awaken. Yes, for 500 years now, ever since the cataclysm in Conria, there's been no sign of activity. Not long ago, you witnessed the Hydro Archon destroy her divine throne. yes? Such a flagrant disregard for the rules, and still Celestia took no action. I suppose that's proof enough of the Heavenly Principles situation. However, the Heavenly Principles will awaken. We just don't know when that will be, or what might trigger it. You could say that. Just look at Kari Bear. He was so pure and single-minded. The space we now find ourselves is a perfect representation of who he was. Quiet and peaceful. Even as a hilly churl, seeing the terrible sight within the mirror wasn't enough to taint his spirit. He brought comfort to the people of this world, even though he was denied the very right to be a part of it. So ask yourself this. Who was it that deprived him of that right to exist? Of course, that's only one example. My feelings about the Heavenly Principles are too complicated to explain in just a few words. Ether?
You're the only one in this world who calls me that. There's so much I wanted to ask you, but for some reason, I'm not interested in asking those questions right now. There's just one thing I have to ask. One thing I could never understand. Why? Why can't we continue our journey together?
At the end of my journey, I arrived at a place known as the Sea of Flowers at the end. Do you remember? A long time ago, when we traveled between worlds together, you told me you wanted to find a place in the universe where that one flower was in full bloom. To have a place like that suddenly appear before me. Well, would you think of that as a coincidence?
You mean...
I miss you too, Ether. But as this war continues to rage, and as I continue to seek that final answer, I don't even know how to face myself sometimes, let alone my own brother.
What's going on?
This space has lost its tether. I doubt it'll be able to exist much longer. In fact, aside from our inability to physically interact with each other, there's something else you should know about this space. With Kari Bear gone, we won't be able to remember anything that happened here. Everything in space will be wiped from existence, including all memory of our reunion.
You're only telling me this now?
That was really cool.
Still so sleepy. Oh, Paimon woke up a little earlier than you, so Paimon will fill you in. The villagers said that they saw us sleeping near the village yesterday. They couldn't wake us up no matter how hard they tried, so they decided to just bring us back here. Oh, and Dane came by just now. It looked like he was injured. He didn't say anything, though. Just made sure that you were all right and left. Kinda seemed like he had a lot on his mind, but that's Dane for ya. Let's think for a second. We were in that memory, and we saw that guy you called Kari Bear. He was the missing villager that we've been trying to find, right? And after that, Paimon doesn't remember what happened. Wait, really? What a score!
Commissioner is speaking again for the school about the transfer
What happened after that?
Ah, there you are. Sleep well?
Bayron,
Fantastic.
you sure seem happy. Did something good happen?
Something good? Huh. It's just that, well, the village organized another search party yesterday. It didn't feel right to leave all the search. So there we were, searching away, when suddenly this one guy said it all came back to, according to him, one day around dusk he was passing by this one tree outside the village, and he saw our missing villager. There he was, sleeping under that tree all by himself. His parents came a little later to wake him up, and they all left together. They looked like quite a happy family, apparently. And after that, well, we all started to feel like that really is what happened. Kind of strange that we forgot all about it for so long. Oh, and we also remembered his name, Curry Bear. Now, that's not a name you hear every day. Would have been helpful if we remembered it sooner. Well, I hope he's happy wherever he is. And we're all relieved now that we know what happened.
Seems like everyone thinks Curry Bear left the village. That's probably for the best. At least they have some sort of explanation now. Paimon wonders how Atosa's doing. Maybe we should go check on. Paimon didn't see her in the village.
See you again. Yeah.
Skyward! Scatter! Kill!
I was trying to do something, but it didn't work out that way.
Hey, Atosa, how's it going?
Oh, it's you two. I was just about to go looking for you. I was part of the search party, so I remember what happened to Kari Bear now. Honestly, I just can't believe I forgot something so important. He always seemed to appear out of nowhere, and now he left just as quickly. If Kari Bear wants me to forget about the time we spent together, then I'm willing to try. I've relied on him for a lot of things, but I'm sure with enough time, even the deepest of attachments can fade. Okay, I'll admit, I'm just putting on a brave face. I was dumped, wasn't I? Otherwise, why would he just leave like that without saying goodbye? You don't need to comfort me. I'll be okay. It's just like Kari Bear said. It's the things we overcome that make life more precious. And you know, if he has a heart, maybe he'll come back and see me one day. Anyway, thanks for all your hard work, you two. I promised I'd help Granny Jahiet with something, so I should head back. Goodbye.
Well, that should be it, right? Everyone's lives can go back to normal now. Oh, right. Weren't you about to tell Paimon what happened after your conversation with Curry Bear?
Was I? Nothing happened.
A picture? Where'd that come from? Let Paimon see.
That is sweet. This is gonna be an interview, right? Was the story shorter compared to the other DAINSLEIF quest? I feel like it was a bit shorter compared to the previous DAINSLEIF quests. But it was nice. Go away. Go away.
Ad Astra. Thank you for
We can go from the full post now, and I think that's it. I like it. We do have some time. And let's do Florence School first. That's really good. Go to Coca Fontaine, Fort New. Yeah. I don't know how how long is it gonna be? Do you think? I don't think it's gonna be that long.
Huh? Do you also see Navia and Clorand over there? They look like they might have run into some kind of trouble. Let's go check out what's going on.
Still no dice?
Not at all. And I've asked pretty much everyone in the court of Fontaine already. Lynette's ears drooped as soon as she heard that we'd have to be out and about for days on end. And Fremine, he hid himself under his helmet as soon as he realized there'd be people around that he didn't know.
That's funny.
What about Chiori and Charlotte? I feel like both of them would be more than up to it.
I've asked them already, but they're both pretty busy right now. I just gave the members of the Spina a few days off, too, so I don't want to bother them either.
This is getting pretty difficult.
Navia, Clorand, what's up?
Oh my. Well, if it isn't my dear partners. How are you all doing?
Huh. Navia?
Huh? Oh, you mean...
Yep, this is our chance.
I don't like that. I don't like how they're looking at us.
Do you need our help with something?
Oh, precisely. My dear partners, we've got a huge problem right now that only you can solve.
Whoa, for real?
Absolutely. We've already exhausted all our other options.
Traveler, Paimon, would you join us and play Marechaussee Hunter Judgment Day?
Marechaussee what now?
No?
It's a new game script by the Tabletop Troupe, a local roleplay adventure club.
Ever heard of the Tabletop Troupe? They put out games that allow you to participate in a story and roleplay characters with your friends. Oh, I've loved their stuff ever since I was a kid.
That sounds super interesting.
Clorand and I are both veteran members of the club. Recently, someone came up with a new script and was looking for people to help playtest it for them. And when they asked, of course I couldn't refuse. I mean, come on! A brand new script? Nobody has ever played it before.
Generally speaking, scripts at that level of development have a lot of issues. But I think this one is pretty solid. The author obviously put a lot of work into the story, and the world building is also quite credible.
Whoa. I know I was the one that handed you the script, but some of us haven't read it yet. No spoilers, please.
Anyway, the script calls for a team of 4. Ah, yes. We're missing one final player right now.
So, you're saying you'll help us out? I knew I could count on you, partner.
Paimon and the Traveler are kind of a package deal. Is that okay?
That's not a problem. I'll adjust the pace based on the actual number of
Yeah,
players, and
Paimon is
ensure
too
that
small to
everyone
count
has a
as
good time.
one. You can just count her as half if you want.
Paimon will follow your lead.
Well, that solves our problem. You have our thanks.
Woohoo! I'll go grab the script manager from the club right away.
The script manager? Didn't you just say that you gave Clorand the script?
The club introduced a completely new kind of gameplay for the script. In this iteration, the Game Master's version of the script is incomplete. The script manager provides the next part of the script only after players have completed the current list of objectives. On top of that, in order to increase player immersion, the club has created some of the story's sets and scenes in real life. We'll only know where we should go once the script manager reveals the starting location.
Wow, you're right. Whoever whoever wrote this script really did put in a lot of work.
Like a real life treasure
And
hunting
it's got a real
or
healthy amount of
escape
suspense, right?
room
I
kind
mean,
of
even
thing.
the GM doesn't know how the story will end.
I look forward to experiencing it with you all.
Why don't you go meet up with the others first? They should all be waiting at Chioria Boutique. I'll come over with the script manager as soon as I find them.
Sounds good. Remember to always watch where you're going, and don't rush.
You say that like I'm 6 years old or something. Let me think. What kind of character should I play this time?
I just hope you'll pick up some useful skills this time. Oh, and stop trying to persuade every animal you come across.
Sweeney
Sorry to
and
keep you waiting.
You're back.
Fiorina.
Huh?
Wait,
And
is
you've got the
Fiorina the
Traveler
script
and
manager?
Paimon with you too.
What a pleasant surprise. I assume you'll be joining us for the game then?
Linny, Farina! Paimon didn't know you were playing too.
I'm more of a casual member, if anything. I haven't taken part in many formal club activities. Lynette Fremine and I play something similar at the Hotel Bouffe Tété sometimes, but I'm usually the GM. Still, I'm sure it'll be fun being a player for the first time. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, I'm not a member of the club at all. Clarion simply woke me up first thing this morning, said there was a good script worth experiencing, and asked if I wanted in.
If you're interested, I can give you a referral. That should give you a 40% discount on membership fees.
I think I'll wait to see how this experience plays out first, especially when it comes to the quality of the script. If it's sufficiently fun, then I'll join.
Do you participate in a lot of tabletop troupe activities, Clarion?
You could say that. She's actually one of the few senior game masters of the troupe.
Ooh.
Right. I knew about that even when she was still my subordinate.
It's nothing. Really, just a small hobby of mine.
Wow. Paimon's so used to seeing you be all upstanding and intimidating as the champion duelist. It's kind of hard to imagine you role-playing with a bunch of friends.
Surely you jest. I would never intentionally make things difficult for my players. I maintain a clear boundary between my professional and personal lives. The me you see at court represents the law and order of Fontaine. I put all personal feelings to the side and grant a fair duel to all who seek to defend their honor. But in my personal life, I'm just an ordinary person. Someone who feels anger and sadness, just like everyone else.
Well, you say that, but for all the time I've known you, I don't think I've ever seen you cry. I've seen you get angry, sure, but now I'm wondering whether you were actually mad or if it just looked that way from the outside.
I was probably in work mode during those times.
Is that so? Well, in any case, I just feel like even in your personal life, you don't get emotional very often.
So you want to see me cry? That might be a little difficult. A show of anger, though, that might be something I could accomplish.
How about a show of
No,
affection?
that's not what I meant.
I'm back! Here, allow me to introduce you to the script manager, Mr. Florian.
Pleasure to meet you all.
Hello. Wait, are you a champion duelist too, Mr. Florian?
Oh, no. This is just the costume provided by the club. I occasionally play a few of the roles in my scripts.
That sounds like a lot of work.
It's nothing. It's the least we can do to give the players a more immersive experience. Anyway, allow me to give you a brief introduction of the script. This script was adapted from the real history of the Marechaussee Hunters. You all will play the role of hunters from a bygone era and resolve a series of events unfolding in the capital.
Paimon's not super familiar with the history of the Marechaussee Hunters. Is that a problem?
Oh, no problem at all. I can give you a brief rundown. So, basically, Marashose hunters were people who dedicated themselves to hunting monsters and protecting the city by using a special swordsmanship technique passed down over generations. Their story can be traced back to the ancient Remurian dynasty, as well as the first hunter, Cassiodor. But I'll leave the finer details for you to seek out and discover later.
Mm-hmm. And I'll provide additional commentary as the story progresses.
In that case, brave hunters, are you ready to set out on an unknown adventure?
Sure.
Whoa, just one sentence and it's like we're in the story already!
Aha, I see many a determined gaze before me. Very well, head over to this location and begin your heroic journey.
So, as we follow the story, it leads us to specific scenes? Ooh, sounds pretty innovative. What does the message in the envelope say?
It's the
Go
exact
fuck yourself.
location of the scene, as well as the formal permission to use the venue. Huh, seems like they have everything prepared. Please check all your belongings, everyone, and make sure you haven't forgotten anything. Once you're ready, please follow me to the designated location.
Sounds good! Hunter Squad, move out!
They really have thought of everything. Even the Fatometer is here and ready to go for us.
The Fatometer? What's that?
It's a card that's used to determine action success or failure. We'll need to use it when we try to use certain skills.
And what about all the dessert and tea?
That's for
For
Paimon.
us as well?
That's what the message said.
Oh, really? That's so nice. It feels just like a tea party with friends.
Those snacks have Paimon's name written all over them!
I think you might be more of a snack hunter than a Marashose hunter, Paimon.
Snack Hunter Paimon reported for duty! If there are delicious snacks to be found, Paimon will track down every last one!
The desserts are great. But I'm still looking forward to the story more than anything.
Very fair. Then, let us begin. First, please pick up the blank character cards in front of you, and write down your name and profession. You can find an abbreviated version of the rules printed on the back of your character card. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. In this story, everyone is a Marashose hunter. To reflect this, the club has prepared a small badge for everyone.
Ooh, nice!
As hunters, you have proficiency in swordsmanship and fighting by default, so there's no need to allocate any additional skill points to those areas.
Swordsmanship? So there's a fighting part to all of this? Paimon's not sure she can do all that on her own. Maybe Paimon can just stick with you?
Why don't you share a character card then? The Traveler will be the Marashose hunter, and you can be his little floating assistant.
Kinda like in real life.
So, for the name, do I fill it out with the name of my character?
Yep, it can be any name you like.
You can use your real name too if you want. I do that whenever I get too lazy to think of a new name.
Oh, so it would be like experiencing a different life, but still as yourself. That's not a bad idea.
In that case, I think I'll continue to use the name Linny then.
Next up is the skill sheet. You have a limited amount of skill points that you can use to learn a number of skills. The more points you invest in a particular skill, the easier it will be to pass associated checks.
I'll take persuasion and investigation. Those are must-haves when it comes to missions like these.
Oh, those skills sound like they'd be useful
He's
for
gonna
gathering
persuade
intelligence.
every animal
Navia.
then.
Just as expected of a veteran player.
So, should we also take those skills then?
Not necessarily. Since we're working together as a team, we could leave the negotiations to Navia and use our skill points to pick up other useful skills. For example, I think I'll take stealth and sleight of hand. That will give us more options if we run into any situations we can't negotiate our way out of.
Oh, interesting. I wasn't thinking about it like that. I suppose it's not so different from an acting troupe. Everyone has their own role to play. Let me see. I'll take arts and performance. I'm not quite sure what use they'll be, but I'm not as knowledgeable about the other skills, and I'm not too confident I'd be able to roleplay them well.
Well, that leaves us. What do you want to learn, Traveler?
Let's go with insight.
Oh, something that'll help you get a read on other people's thoughts. Sounds useful.
Medicine.
Ooh, so you want to help people when they're injured. That's nice of you.
I'm a healer.
So what do you think? Are you sure you want to learn these two skills?
Yep.
Let's see. Oh, looks like you each have enough points to choose one final skill.
You've all picked such classic skills. It's fine to go a little bit out of the box, you know.
Why do I get the feeling she's getting ready to cause trouble?
For example, this one here. Summon. Doesn't it sound super mysterious and cool?
Oh, I saw that one just now as well. The description says, this skill can be used under certain circumstances to summon characters or creatures that fit the script's world-building rules.
The script's world-building rules, huh? But how are we supposed to know what a Marashose hunter can summon?
We can summon a
That's not for
Paimon.
us to worry about, my friend. Just learn the skills that interest you, and the GM will take care of the rest.
Alright, you've convinced Paimon. Let's learn summon then. Paimon can't
Red
wait to
is
see what kind of
already
thing shows
getting
up.
overworld.
Well, now that everyone's more or less finished creating their characters, we can begin. Since two of our players are doing this for the first time, though, let me ask. Would you like to play on easy mode or authentic mode?
Let's go with
What's
authentic
the
mode.
difference between the two?
Well, in role-playing games, the story sometimes changes based on the decisions of the players and the results of the Fatometer. For example, if you fail a check, that means you cannot use the target skill in that scenario. A critical failure may even result in further negative consequences. If you choose to play in authentic mode, every time you elect to use a skill, you'll need to use the Fatometer to see whether you succeed or fail, and face any consequences that may follow. If you choose easy mode instead, every check will be successful by default, and you won't have to worry about luck playing a factor.
Okay. Check bonus. Like add to your electron number. But please you pass checks. And easy mode checks can be successfully ready for.
Given
No.
that I'd like to
Authentic mode.
focus on the story, I suppose I should pick easy mode. I'd feel bad if I brought the team down by failing my checks.
No. Authentic.
Oh, come on. Don't worry about that. RNG is the lifeblood of role-playing games. I'm going with authentic mode for sure. Never knowing what you might have to overcome. Ugh, doesn't that sound exciting?
I'd rather be mentally prepared for what might happen.
All right, then I'll mark down Farina for easy mode. All her checks will be successful by default. As usual, Navia and Linny will play on authentic mode.
What about you, dear partner? How would you like to play?
Are you sure?
Trust me, you'll see the beauty of RNG. Honestly, I don't think Clorand would make things too difficult for us no matter what the Fatometer says. Isn't that right, Clorand?
No promises.
That wasn't super reassuring.
What happened
Well,
with Paimon?
anyway, enough talk. Let's get started. I want to experience at least a good chunk of the story today.
Speaking of the story, why is the beginning scene on a beach?
Well, that's because a long time ago, back when human
Oh,
civilization was still in
the
its
art looks
infancy,
so cool.
powerful demons and evil sorcerers ruled over the land.
That
They
PNG
created a
of this?
host of monsters
I
and
wanna
sent
have
them
this
to
art.
slaughter all humans in existence. Soon, a group of human rebels banded together. With their swords raised, they swore to brave the darkness, and in doing so, subdue each and every monster that sought their destruction. They became known as the Marachose Hunters. Sometime later, as a member of the Marachose Hunters, you receive a commission. Following the address provided on the message, you take a boat and arrive at this strange city. As you
This is
inhale,
this
you
monster.
can taste the slightly salty air of the docks as you begin to survey your surroundings. There aren't many people in the vicinity, but you do take note of a few others who, like you, seem to be sizing up this place. Your eyes meet, and you realize these people are fellow Marachose hunters, likely led to this location after receiving the same commission as you.
You're all Marachose hunters too, right? Allow me to introduce myself. The name's Navia.
And
Monster
Navia
hunter by
looks
trade
really
and
cute.
helpful neighborhood businesswoman on
I
the
like
side.
this art style.
What say you to traveling together? We can help each other out on the road.
Okay, count me in. My name is Linny. I've been wandering since I was little and picked up a few less than legal tricks along the way. I was adopted by a Marachose hunter and later chose to follow in his footsteps.
Is this where you introduce your character to everyone? It sounds like they've done this dozens of times. My name
Irina
is
the Bard.
Marina, and, I grew up in a noble family. I always had a strong interest in performance and the arts. Even though I'm a Marachose hunter, what I really want is to be a performing artiste.
Hey, that's really cool. You can do it, Farina. That's exactly how it's done.
Paimon is Paimon, a good friend and companion to this Marachose hunter right here.
I've
Paimon
been
is among
studying
us.
medicine ever since I was a child. I want to do my part to eradicate these monsters and use what I've learned to heal others.
Oh, welcome. When we face the monsters, I'll make sure to charge in front to give everyone some cover. You can take care of the healing at the back.
You open your envelopes at the same time. The message reads, "To the honorable and trustworthy Marachose hunters, our kingdom is currently facing a grave crisis. The lands outside the capital have been overtaken by monsters, and our people are being led astray by forces of wickedness. We beseech you, please help us resolve this crisis and return peace and stability to our home."
Huh. The layout of this city looks super familiar. It kind of reminds...
The scriptwriter must have used a real-world city as a reference when coming up with the map.
As experienced hunters, the layout of the city reminds you of places once traveled. You recall the sight of tree-lined streets and the gentle tranquility of days gone by. Yet, as you regard the city in front of you, it appears to be little more than an empty shell. Its hollow gates are open to you, beckoning you to come forth and bring salvation back to the town.
I carefully read every line of the letter and turn my attention to the signatures at the bottom. Who issued this commission to us?
you see a long string of unfamiliar names. It would seem that many of the residents of the city issued this commission together. They sensed that things were not right within the kingdom and sent a distress signal to the outside world.
In that case, why don't we take a walk around the city and see if we can learn anything from the local residents?
Oh, good idea. We might be able to get some leads on the monsters and bad guys we're after.
You look up and see a tavern nearby. It appears to be open for the day.
Why don't we go check out that tavern? If the novels I've read are anything to go by, taverns are usually full of information.
As you approach the tavern, you find a plainly dressed woman standing nearby. She appears to be rather troubled about something.
Greetings, friend. Lovely weather we're having today, don't you think?
Oh, hello.
Nice
I suppose you're
transition
right.
from
The weather today is quite
Goran to
lovely.
her.
If only those monsters out there would stop causing trouble.
It seems like every character included in the script has a certain amount of useful information to offer. If we keep asking questions, we might be able to get some good leads.
Oh, come now, don't be sad. Life is all about optimism. Oh, that reminds me. What did you have for breakfast this morning?
Huh?
I don't think that's the kind of question we're supposed to ask.
Nothing turns a frown upside down like good food. How about some macarons? I could make you some.
You didn't even take cooking as one of your skill proficiencies.
That's not necessary, miss. Excuse me for saying this, but you don't really look like a chef. Besides, I'm not really a fan of sweets.
So you're someone who barely smiles and doesn't like sweets. You're really starting to remind me of this one friend of mine. Hey! Did she just... me?
I like how this is going.
Character for a second.
This isn't getting us anywhere. Traveler, maybe you can think of something.
The results of insight checks aren't disclosed to the players, so I'll be the one consulting the phaetometer.
The dynamic between Florent and Navia is really good. It's really enjoyable.
You recall all the lessons you've learned in your time and begin to carefully observe the woman's mannerisms. You notice that when she's quiet, she has an empty look in her eyes, as if her thoughts have drifted to a place far, far away. And when she speaks, she often subconsciously reaches out to touch the ring on her left hand. So you noticed. That's a little embarrassing. A horde of monsters suddenly appeared near the capital recently, so all the guards were dispatched to fight them.
Do you remember when those monsters appeared?
I'm not completely sure. All I know is that my husband was dispatched to fight them 3 days ago.
Do you know where he was sent?
It all happened so fast. When we said our goodbyes, he couldn't even tell me where they were sending him.
You have our thanks, friend. We'll find and defeat those monsters as soon as possible. We sincerely hope your husband will be able to return to your side soon.
Thank you.
Don't worry. We'll find him. Just try to remain optimistic and wait for good news.
Yeah, and eat those
We don't always
macarons.
get to choose what happens to us. But we do get to choose the little things, like what we eat and how we respond to the things life throws our way. I hope that one day, you too will recognize the power of something as small and inconsequential as a delicious dessert.
I'll do my best. You bid farewell to the woman and continue your journey further into the city. As you venture further into the city, the streets appear largely empty. An elderly woman walks past. You see her shake her head as she puts away her wrinkled wallet. A nearby merchant folds his arms and gives you a disdainful look. You get the impression that he's someone who has long gotten used to the sight before him.
Although he doesn't seem very friendly, merchants are usually a good source of information, right?
Pardon me, sir. I'd like to ask a question if I may.
That depends. How much are you willing to pay?
How about this much?
What do you take me for? Some lowly beggar? You can't even buy half an onion with that amount.
Surely an onion can't be that expensive, right?
What do you know? War's nearly upon us. Everything costs several times what it did before. If you're not gonna buy anything, then scram.
Whoa, what a nasty guy. Maybe we shouldn't even bother talking to him.
But he still might have information we need. Traveler, can you think of something?
Can I think of something? Persuade him.
Sir, we came to this city to solve the very problem you seem to be referring to. The war you mentioned, would it happen to be against the monsters outside the city? If you happen to be well informed and know a thing or two about what's going on, we'd appreciate it if you could share that information with us. After all, the sooner this problem gets resolved, the easier it will be for you to do your business.
Well, things are basically as you said, young lady. Those monsters are camped outside the city, and they've been destroying all our trade routes. We have limited reserves within the city, so if this continues, we're all gonna be in big trouble.
Wait, you're saying no one has put a plan in place to distribute supplies or maintain order?
We could all starve and those nobles in the palace wouldn't even break a sweat. Who knows? Maybe they've been in cahoots with the monsters all along.
That is concerning.
All right. That's all the information you need, right? Off with you now. I've still got business to do.
You know, if you smiled a little more, you'd definitely get more business. And I bet that would make your life just a little bit sweeter. I'm not saying it's guaranteed to work. It's just a tip.
Should we try to go somewhere with more people?
Oh, how about the city square? Follow me.
Before you lies the city's central square. You see a man with a slightly anxious look on his face, pacing back and forth, his head hanging low. He doesn't seem to notice your approach. Still immersed in his own thoughts, he shakes his head and lets out a long sigh.
This guy seems promising enough. Maybe I can get some information out of him. Hello, sir. Is there anything I can do to help you?
Wait, you're...
I'm...
Oh, dear goodness! You're a Marashose hunter!
You recognize us? Ah, are you one of the people who wrote the commission letter?
Yes! Oh, I didn't expect you to actually come! Oh, what great news! The city is saved!
What happened here?
Alas, we once lived comfortable, carefree lives. This city used to be free of monsters. The first Marashose hunter, Casiodor, the Golden Hunter, he was the one who drove them back. However, Monsters have once again surrounded the city. Perhaps the seal that kept them at bay has lost its power. Or perhaps an evil sorcerer has been meddling in our affairs. All I know for sure is that their return has stripped the city of any chance at peace.
Are there not enough soldiers to drive them out?
It's not a question of numbers. The guards simply have no idea how to deal with them. Most people my age have never even seen one of the monsters, much less been trained to fight against them. What's worse, many of us don't even know the history of the Marashose hunters anymore. When I was a child, though, my grandfather would tell me stories about how the Marashose hunters drove back the monsters. So, on the off chance that something might come of it, I decided to reach out to you. To be perfectly honest, I was starting to think all those stories were just tall tales. But now that I've seen you in person, I finally know that it was true!
Well, you can rest easy, friend. The righteous and formidable Marashose hunters are on the case.
The man is touched by your determination and resolve. His eyes begin to well with tears of relief.
Still, if we are going to hunt the monsters, we need to know where to find them. Can you give us any leads?
All I know is that the area outside the city is dangerous. I'm afraid I can't point you toward a specific location. Oh, although, if you leave the capital through the main gate and follow the road, you should run into a group of guards. They might know more about where to find the monsters.
I see. We'll go look for them then.
All right, be careful. Oh, and one last thing. The monsters outside the city are just part of the problem. There are evil sorcerers inside the city as well, so be on your guard. They're actively working with the monsters, and have corrupted the court ministers with malicious magic. They're the reason why, even inside the city, everything has been a giant mess. Even one of our kindest ministers has turned into a boorish and unreasonable figure, interested in nothing but enacting laws that exploit the people. Who knows how much longer we'll be able to go on like this.
Talk about being stuck between a rock and a hard place.
I feel bad for him. Maybe we should try to cheer him up?
Huh? Like, now? Is this really the right time?
I appreciate your kindness, but for now, it's more important to focus on the crisis at hand. Brave hunters, I leave the future of this kingdom to you.
If I understood correctly, there are currently 2 problems in the kingdom that need solving, right?
Exactly. We need to defeat the monsters outside the city and take down the evil sorcerer stirring up trouble from within.
But which problem should we tackle first?
Well, this seems like a good moment for a break. Take some time and discuss what you want to do. Let me know when you've made your decision.
I really didn't expect the people in the city to keep us at arm's length like that. I totally thought the hunters would be treated like heroes.
Well, Clarence said the script took cues from the real history of Fontaine, right? Maybe the real-life Marashose hunters were also treated like that.
I wouldn't say it's a perfect representation of history, but there are definitely some similarities. Would you like to hear more about it?
Sure. As long as it doesn't spoil anything in the script. You brought up bits and pieces of the hunter's history before, but it was all in passing.
Paimon wants to know too! The hunters were super powerful, right? Were they all from a special line of supernatural beings or something? Kinda like the yokai in Inazuma?
No. All Marashose hunters were ordinary mortal fighters. The only thing that set them apart were the special sword techniques passed down over the centuries.
Huh? So you mean anyone could become a Marashose hunter?
In theory, yes. All you would need to do is survive the rigorous training and master the swordsmanship techniques required to fight the monsters. Still, most people dropped out at the early stages, and others called it quits the minute they saw a monster in person. To become a hunter, you must be strong in both body and mind.
What kind of monsters did the hunters fight exactly? Oh, and the evil sorcerer the script mentions. Did they exist in real life too?
The land of Fontaine once played host to an ancient dynasty known as Remuria. After that dynasty fell, monsters began to appear, intent on obstructing humans from establishing a new social order. One of the ancient sorcerers of Remuria used his power to assemble a formidable army of golems. He sought to use that force to establish himself as king.
Now wait a second. Don't tell me that guy was the inspiration for the evil sorcerer in the script. We still haven't found any in-game information on him yet. So, why don't you talk about someone else for now?
Well, I wasn't planning on going into anything you might be able to find out in the game. But if you want me to talk about something else, then... how about Casiodor, the Golden Hunter? Or Egeria, the ex-Hydro Archon?
Wait,
Why not the
people
you?
are all from a super long time ago. Where did you learn all this, Claran?
From my master.
Huh. By master, you mean Miss Petronia?
Someone you know?
Absolutely. Miss Petronia and my father were good friends. Back in the day, she would often bring Clorand over to play, but then...
Let's not get off topic. Anyway, back to what I was saying. Responding to Egeria's call, a number of warriors followed Casiodor into battle against the monsters. This group of warriors, under Casiodor's leadership, became known as the Marechaussee Hunters. Yet, as Fontaine entered an era of peace, their work gradually became obsolete. The Marechaussee Phantom, originally an association made up of hunters, eventually came to be predominantly comprised of Melusines.
Ah, I see. That explains why most of the people in the script have forgotten the hunters or think of them as nothing more than a legend.
Is that really a bad thing, though? It can get tough always being the one shouldering everyone's expectations.
Depends on who you ask, I suppose. If the name of the organization no longer commands respect, investigative work is bound to suffer.
Speaking of investigations, which problem should we tackle first? Monsters or evil sorcerer?
I vote monsters. That's the main duty of the hunters, right? We can come back to the sorcerer later.
Well said, Miss Farina. Plus, if the sorcerers really are the masterminds behind this whole thing, defeating the monsters could give us some clues on their intentions as well.
What about you, partner? What do you think?
Let's deal with the sorcerer first. Sorcerers is inside the city. So you clean up inside the city, then go outside.
I mean, you're not wrong. But those characters are usually the ones pulling the strings behind the scenes. More often than not, they're very formidable opponents. Going after them now might be jumping the gun a little bit. We don't want a total party kill on the first day, right? With Clorand as the GM, I wouldn't rule out the possibility. Then it's settled. Let's go hunt some monsters.
All right.
Yes.
After some
My
discussion,
opinion didn't
you
even
decide to turn
fucking
around
matter,
and
did
head
it?
out of the city.
Let's take a look around, like that guy said.
You there! Outsiders, halt!
Who's there?
An armored man approaches you. He has a tall, muscular build and a determined expression in his eyes. Just one look, and you can tell he's fought in his fair share of battles. Although he's trying his best to conceal his current state, his uneven gait and the sweat dripping down his forehead make it obvious that he's been wounded and is in serious pain. I'm the captain of the guard. I saw you sneaking around the city earlier, so I'll only ask this once. State your purpose, or it's off to the dungeons for the lot of you.
Wow, it's been a while since someone's been this suspicious of us.
I said talk, not whisper between yourselves.
Have you ever heard of the Marchese Hunters?
Marachose hunters? Ha! That fairy tale, you mean? What, do you expect me to believe you're one of them?
I like to do medicine check if I can help. I don't, I don't, I don't think there's medicine for dumbness. Oh, oh.
Sir, we were indeed in the city earlier, but our purpose was only to gather information on the monsters. We're here to help the city and all the people within it. Your guards are still fighting the monsters as we speak. They could be seriously wounded and in grave need of support. You need all the help you can get.
Yeah, of course.
The man regards you with doubt and concern. After a period of inner struggle, he lets out a long sigh and informs you of the locations where the monsters have appeared. Those monsters aren't easy to deal with, but if you insist on going, I won't stop you either. I just hope all the guards will be able to come back to their families alive. I wish you the best of luck.
Based on what the captain said, the monster should be right up ahead. Let's go. Hopefully we're not too late.
As you approach the battlefield, you see numerous people lying by the side of the road. They appear to be dressed like guards. Their faces are filled with desperation and terror. Some are screaming and cursing in vain, as if still trying to banish the monstrosities they saw from their minds. A few of the wounded look up at you in shock and disbelief. "Quick, leave this place. Turn around and don't look back," they yell.
This is the place he mentioned, right?
You see broken iron swords scattered all around you, and downed trees riddled with terrifying claw marks. All the signs point to one thing. A truly devastating battle just took place here.
Be on your guard, everyone. The monsters might still be around.
Before you can finish your sentence, you hear rustling sounds from the surrounding bushes. The monsters have emerged. They close in on you without fear. You get the impression that, in their bloodthirsty eyes, you're just another meal for them to devour.
A little help here! This thing wants to eat Paimon!
Your battle round begins now.
Mhm. 11. Yeah.
Go! Bombs away!
Shower me with praise!
A round of applause!
The next battle round begins now. monsters let out a terrifying roar of anger and resentment before dissipating into thin air.
Oh, thank goodness it's over.
We're lucky the Marashose Hunter class came with all those preset skill points. Otherwise, we would have been in some real trouble.
I never knew the phytometer even determines the amount of damage you inflict. If you get unlucky, isn't it just game over right then and there?
That's part of the fun. The uncertainty of fate is what gives these games their appeal.
Just as you begin to celebrate your victory, a suspicious lump on the ground catches your attention.
A suspicious lump? Wait, could it be the thing that appears after every battle?
I walk up to it, crouch down, and begin to carefully examine it. I've still got my right glove on, so it should be fine for me to touch it, right?
As you investigate the mound, you discover that the exposed portion appears to be made of wood. It was previously obscured by the large form of the monsters. With the monsters
Get a
gone,
chest.
the small protrusion now awaits your discovery, poking out of the ground like a shy flower bud.
Ooh, it's a treasure chest!
With everyone's help, you successfully excavate the wooden chest from the ground. Even without opening it, you can tell from the mora and jewels scattered around the chest that it must contain quite the fortune.
Makes sense. We worked hard for this. Let's open it and we can share what's inside!
I can understand your excitement, Paimon, but think about it. Doesn't it seem like there are people out there who need this treasure more than us?
Yeah. Think about all the people suffering in the capital. Or all those guards who got hurt fighting the monsters. Wouldn't it be better if we gave the treasure to them?
Wait, is that how it works? Paimon thought since we were the ones to dig it up, we could just take it for ourselves.
Well, let's put it this way. Any decision you make during a role-playing game can impact the future course of the story.
But would the people really believe us? It's hard enough for us to prove we're Marashose hunters. What if they think we procured the treasure illegally? They might get even more suspicious of us.
That's definitely something we should consider. Maybe we can come up with an explanation in advance.
Well, if donating it could cause that much trouble, why don't we use it to buy some gear and fill up on good food? Then we'll be ready to fight even more bad guys.
Looks like you're facing a difficult choice once again. Well, it's getting late. Why don't we call it a day for now?
Wow! Where did the time go?
I'm not sure if it's because I'm having so much fun with you all, or because the story is particularly enticing, but I feel like I could almost keep going.
Here, here! Ooh, how about we play through the night?
I'm not sure I'll have enough energy for that.
Yeah, that won't work for me either. Lynette will give me an earful if I get home too late.
I understand how you feel, Navia, but we have to change venues for the next part of the story anyway.
Huh? Another location?
Mm-hmm. There's a special note for the GM at the end of this section that says to proceed to an indoor set for the next part of the script.
Whoa! They really pulled out all the stops for this new script.
Well, even if we end the game for the day, we can still stay a little longer and hear Cloran finish her story, right? Paimon wants to hear more about the history of the Hunters.
Something tells me you just want to finish the free desserts before we break for the day.
Pretty much.
That's just a coincidence, okay? Besides, to Paimon, not finishing free food feels even worse than having to buy her own. And anyway, Paimon really does want to hear more about Cloran's master.
Well...
it's nothing. I appreciate the concern, but it's all in the past. It won't do any harm to share these things now. My earliest memories are of living with Master. According to her, she saved me from certain people of ill repute. My birth parents had left me behind some time before that.
What a heavy beginning for a life story.
Master was a fascinating individual, if inexperienced in the ways of raising children. My first ever toy was a short sword. Although I suppose it wasn't so much a toy as something Master removed from her waist and handed to a noisy child in need of distraction.
Oh, wait, so she handed an actual sword to a child? Isn't that dangerous? Did you hurt yourself?
Of course I did. I cut my palm and bled quite a lot. But Master was not concerned. She just stood there and casually lectured me about it. See, that's what you get for not holding the sword properly, she told me. She then crouched down next to me and said, "Give me your hand. I'll teach you to bandage this wound. After that, it's time to learn how to truly hold a blade."
Excuse me for asking this, Clorand, but how old were you exactly when all this happened?
Probably around, 3, give or take.
3? Isn't that when most kids are still struggling to hold a fork?
As I said, Master was rather inexperienced in the ways of raising children. She believed trial and error was the best way to teach a child what they're capable of.
I'm not so sure this is a question of experience.
I didn't see anything wrong with her ways at the time. And anyway, children don't get to choose how they're raised. Oh, she did bring me back a pet from Liyue once. It was a Geovishap hatchling.
A Geovishap hatchling? For a pet? That seems even more dangerous!
What she said was this: make sure to get along, you two. If you really can't agree on something, just settle it with a fight. Whoever loses is the real pet.
And how old were you when this happened?
5.
Well, did you win?
No, I lost.
So, you're saying you actually became the Geovishap's pet?
Yes, but only for a week. By the end of that week, I defeated it in combat, and we've shared a cordial relationship ever since.
That really doesn't sound like the kind of childhood someone should have.
Later on, I gradually understood that Master most likely didn't know any other way to raise a child. She was a Marechaussee hunter, but I never heard her bring up her own parents. Thanks to her, I learned how to navigate the forest by the age of 6, and could hunt monsters in the wild by myself the year after that. Even though the training she subjected me to was strict, she always made sure to take me traveling when she had the time. We met many of her friends during those days. That was also how I met Mr. Callis and his family.
I still remember the first time we met. You were too scared to join our picnic and hid behind Ms. Petronia the whole time.
I still hadn't really met many children my age at that time, so I didn't know how to interact with others.
After that, though, you started coming over a lot. You loved challenging people to shooting competitions, remember? I don't think many members of the Spina ever beat you in one of those.
I had a lot of fun during those days.
I enjoyed them too. Oh, do you remember that one time we went exploring around the Spina together? We overheard Papa call your master Fontaine's Protector of Justice. We tried to pretend like we never heard anything, but you nearly let it slip that one time.
Protector of Justice? Oh, wait, you mean that vigilante hero from 20 years ago? The one who was always active at night?
Yep, that would be her. She often would put on a black cloak and go out at night. I never knew where she went or what she was doing. Until, like Navia said, we overheard the truth from Mr. Callis that night.
20 years ago, huh?
I still remember the guards leaving all kinds of witness reports about her on Nervalette's desk.
My apologies.
Oh, there's no need to apologize. You had nothing to do with it. And anyway, everything she did was for a good cause. Although, calling herself the Protector of Order was a bit much. Especially when she deliberately operated outside the law.
Huh? When did the Protector of Justice become the Protector of Order?
Oh, she had a bunch of code names. I heard she would just come up with a name on the spot whenever she was asked. Later on, she probably got sick of answering those questions and decided to stick to just two. The Protector of Justice and the Protector of Order.
That sounds like her, all right. I bet she forgot which of the two she'd use by the time she got back each night.
Well, she certainly sounds like a fascinating individual. With her strong sense of justice, it's no surprise her student followed in her footsteps.
It's true. I always wanted to become like her. Someone powerful, independent, and with a strong sense of conviction. But... She suddenly disappeared the night I turned 10 years old.
Disappeared?
He might be part of the witches.
I have no idea. She didn't even leave a note. I was never able to find out where she went. That night, I was celebrating my birthday at Navia's house. But Master never came to pick me up. When I returned home on my own, it was to an empty house. When she still didn't appear after a few days, I went to Mr. Callus's house to ask about her whereabouts. But he only shook his head.
Papa probably didn't know either. I know he sent a few people to investigate the matter in secret, but they never found any credible leads.
Don't worry, I understand. To be perfectly honest, given Master's personality and way of doing things, it all made a lot of sense. If I had to guess, I'd say she probably used it as an opportunity to force me to become independent. Just like how, when a litter of kittens reaches a certain age, the mother willingly leaves them behind.
Were you upset, Clorand?
I was at first, but not anymore. I don't believe Master would suddenly disappear for no reason. There must have been something she just had to do.
Well, despite everything, you still managed to follow in her footsteps and become the greatest champion duelist in all of Fontaine. You're practically a living symbol of law and justice.
I suspect my position would be far too by the books for her. Master always did whatever she pleased. But you're right. I suppose I do take after her in some ways.
Who knew Clorand had such an interesting past? I never had the chance to ask her about it before. I wonder... if Clorand's master were the champion duelist back then, would that duel against Mr. Callus have gone differently? Oh no.
Yeah, probably.
Judging by the atmosphere, Clorand and Navia are probably thinking something similar.
Well, anyway... would you look at the time? It's getting dark, so we should probably call it a day for real this time. If we keep talking like this, we really will be here all night.
I had a great time today, Miss Clorand. Thank you for being our GM.
Anytime.
The script was good, but I've got to say, your childhood stories were even better. Hey, you should tell us more about that fight against the Geo-Bishop sometime. Maybe your master was onto something.
You could be right.
What does she mean, onto something? I certainly don't know any 5-year-olds who want to fight a bishop in their spare time. Guess I'll head back as well. I need to save my energy if I want to continue enjoying the story tomorrow.
You're that excited to hear about my fight with the bishop?
I was talking about the script.
I like the painting. Should I continue? How long is this left? it's quite late now.
Osmanthus wine tastes the
I
same as
also
I
have been streaming
remember.
for a while.
But where are those who share the memory?
We could finish the rest on the next stream. Yeah, let's do that. Let's finish the second part in the next stream. I might be Wuthering Waves soon.
Where do you want to go next? If you'd like to see Liyue's tourist spots, I have a few references. Osmanthus wine tastes the same as I remember. But where...
Okay. Yes, the match is Peter Pioneer. First folio. What about the update, right? No, this is yeah, you have to have two things for it when it comes out. Okay.
I've faced many.
So 16 days still.
Opponents in my duels.
Comes out.
Most of them I defeated. The rest surrendered.
Okay.
No, I have never lost a duel.
Okay, I'm gonna end the stream here. We're gonna do the second part of the story quest in the next stream, which will happen tomorrow, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. I don't know. But... Okay. Good night. Goodbye.